I am going to get this 101 back in the cabinet, and then I am going to talk about the wiring crimes that were committed with this machine. So, I'm gonna lift one of these cabinet pins up, and then lift the other one up. Drop the machine on there, and come in here and tighten these screws down with a stubby screwdriver so I can reach in there. Right, so there's our motor wire. Drop that down in through the cabinet. Remove it. Pop out the back, and our lamp wire is gonna drop out the back. And the cabinet's got these 3 spots. So the machine sets like so. And then this is the wiring crime. Someone decided, and I don't know if the controller that's in the cabinet is bad. I haven't tested that yet, but they decided to rewire this, and Singer plug here, but these are not Singer nuts, these are just wire nuts stuck on there. And all these wires are loosey-goosey on the back of the machine, or on the back of this plug, and there's a single regular nut here. So all this was just up underneath the back of the machine. The electrical tape on some of the old wiring, and then the lamp wiring just on here higgledy-piggledy. So this all has to go, and I'm not going to put, like, I could get a Mercury style plug block and put sockets on the lamp and a socket on the motor, but I've already gotten this far as rewiring it, so I'm just gonna wire it together with shrink tubing so that it's working. And if somebody is back to restoring it, because you already have to redo the motor, it will be just as easy for them to rewire it again later as it will be for me to put a Mercury plug block on it. So that's what we're going to do about that wiring crime. Alright, I have here all of the cables necessary to wire this 101 together. That plug block was not safe to use. This came with a clamshell pedal that had been retrofitted to it. The knee controller is in the cabinet, but untested, and I'm not going to restore this machine. I'm just getting it functional. So I am going to solder this all together correctly, cover it, shrink wrap it so it's safe, and then it's going to get zip tied. It's going to get tucked up and fastened inside the cabinet under one of the wire clamps that remains in the cabinet from the old wiring. So it'll get held in place and have strain relief on the cord. So doing this way, because then I don't have to invest in new replacement anything. So what I have is two sets of cables. We've got two out of the cabinet and our two wall and controller. So the brown one is our wall power, and the wall power connects to the light. The light was this 16 gauge wire, so we're going to start with our wall and our light and just twist those together, and twist those together. And this is the same way that you would wire the plug block if you had whatever plug block you find inside that plug block. This is happening. The wall connects to the lamp fixture, and then the controller connects to one of the wall outlet plugs. So we got, and this is typically the common, although most sewing machines are not polarized. So it's common is motor block, one of these is lamp, wall, controller, and then the motor comes in and it goes from the wall here, the wall, and the controller. I believe in the Singer block that was on this machine, the 3-pin block that I do not have handy, the pins are actually ordered one, two, three, so you got the wall on the outside and the motor controller in the middle. But I am going to solder this up and heat shrink it all, and then I will be able to start testing this machine. Alright, I'm going to drop our bobbin into the 101. It drops in the top here. There's the familiar looking hook slit here, and then it pulls back through, and once it is in the tension spring, it pulls across the top like so. And I can already feel that this tension is a bit light, so I'm going to add that's just freewheeling. So we gotta, there we go. There's a teeny touch of tension on it. So with that in the tension properly, moment of truth. There we go, and it picked up the thread. So we can give this a stitch test. I believe it is set for the longest possible stitch. We are going to put a row of stitches out here and see. It's definitely a little bit loose on the upper tension, so we can do that, but also remember the tension dial I put, or the stitch length dial I just sort of put on, and so to set the scale on it, because it's marked 6 to 30, which is supposed to be stitches per inch, I am going to leave it set where it is now, and I'm going to measure these stitches and see what the measurement is, and then I'm just going to loosen this, lift it, and turn the dial to the correct setting. Alright, the adjustment went well. I have it set now, and you can see on our measurement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches to the inch, and the dial is set for 6. When I first had the machine fired it up, the dial was in a random spot. This is that row of stitches, I believe, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stitches an inch. So I just counted that, loosened the screw in the middle, moved the dial so that 10 was at the arrow, and tightened the screw down in the middle, and it was back on scale.